Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY for Dollar Tree Valentine's Day napkin rings. First thing you'll need is 2 empty toilet paper tubes. This pink diamond wrap from the Dollar Tree. It's 1.5 inches wide. Then you're going to need this washi tape. You're going to need the hot pink one, also from the Dollar Tree. Then you're going to need this burlap ribbon. Also get the hot pink version. You can also find that at the Dollar Tree. Then you're going to need a pair of scissors and a glue gun with glue sticks. Let's get started. First thing you want to do is you want to take your hot pink washi tape and you're going to wrap 2 widths onto the bottom of the toilet paper roll. Just like so. It doesn't always stick really good, but we're going to cover it, so no need to worry about how well it's sticking. You just want to try to keep it lined up with the bottom edge of the toilet paper roll. Then you want to go ahead and wrap a second row lined up right next to the first row. You don't have to leave any space. It's better if you don't. And then just trim off the edge. You want to make sure you trim any excess that hangs over the edge. It's not the worst thing if it does, but you might as well. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to cut our pink burlap to fit. We're basically just going to cut it in half. I measured around the tube, figure out about how long it's okay if it overlaps. You're going to trim it at the end. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half lengthwise and cut down the middle. So you have 2 1.5 inch wide pieces. Then I'm going to take our toilet paper tube and we're going to wrap the other end, which you could have done at first. Just wanted to make sure we had enough width for the burlap. There you go. So you can see here, it's okay if it overlaps because you can trim it at the end. But as long as it's wide enough to cover the 2 pieces of washi. Okay? Then you're going to stab your toilet paper tube so that you can get in between and cut it. If you try to just cut it straight across, it may make your napkin ring oblong and you'll lose your roundness of your toilet paper tube. Now we're going to cut our toilet paper tube in half. You're going to just do a rough cut down the middle and then you can trim each one easier as you go along. I cut into the tube, cut a wedge out, or just cut it at an angle so that you can go slowly along. This, believe it or not, actually works really well if you have a left-handed scissor or if you're a lefty, but using the right-handed scissor and using the right-handed scissor and going on the right-handed side, being right-handed, is a lot more difficult. You have to make many more passes. But just go slowly around until you've got it all cleaned up next to that pink tape. And just trim along as you need. Now you're going to go ahead and glue the burlap over the washi. I thought that the washi underneath the ribbon really made it look a little bit more glammy, but you can skip that step if you want a more rustic look. You're just going to use a little hot glue. Just be careful when you glue the burlap because the burlap is holy. I don't want anybody to burn their fingers. But you just put a drop of glue to fasten the front end, and then you're going to just use a drop of glue on the other end And again, just be careful. When you make it longer, you can stretch over the glue until the glue is dry, and then you're just going to go ahead and cut off all the excess. And there we have it. Okay. Now I have some extra strings hanging off. I'm just going to trim that like I did with the cardboard. But you just don't want to trim too much because you don't want the cardboard to show up. Okay. Just wherever it needs to be cleaned up. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to go ahead and work on is our diamond wrap. Now we're going to cut a piece of diamond wrap the length of the circumference of the toilet paper tube. And once we cut it around, which this one happens to just match perfect. I'm sure most toilet paper tubes are standard size, but mine happens to match and line up absolutely perfect without any overlap. Now I've decided to cut it down lengthwise because I'm still working on my design. I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do with it, so I'm getting inspiration. Okay, so one strip around the middle. That looks like a good idea. But I'm also going to try, what if I take 2 rows and I put 2 rows on each end? Let me see how that looks. So I'm going to get 2 rows around each edge. You just hot glue. I hot glue one place along the middle. But again, you don't have to touch that. You could just pull the diamond wrap down onto the glue. And then make sure it's even. And then to glue the end closed. Don't we all just love glue gun strings? Oh yes, that's my favorite. And then just a dab of glue there. A really small amount will hold. And then line it up perfect. And then we're going to do the same for the other end. So now I'm ready to make the second one. And I'm just going to do the same steps where I'm going to trim it up and then make sure I clean up all its edges. And now I'm going to repeat putting the burlap on. This is all the same way as before. And now I'm just going to do a test. Do I want one on the side or how about down the middle? Yeah, I think I'm going to try my original plan of putting one strip down the middle. So here I am using my original piece to judge the length that I need. And then I'm cutting it in half straight down the middle in 2 rows of 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue Oh, do a little cleanup. Those glue gun hands, I'm telling you, there's something else. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue this down the middle. Just a dab of glue. Rub the excess off on my burlap. Same like before, gluing halfway. And then secure the ends. You can use the scissor like before if you don't want to get stuck to your fingers. And then just clean up all of the threads. And there you have it. Those are the two versions. I made 2 of each because I have 4 settings at my dining table. And you can line the inside if you think it's necessary, but I liked it like this. I hope you liked this tutorial. Here's how it looks on my table setting before and after. I really do like the way that they came out. I did think that they would be a lighter pink, more in tune with my table runner, but I did really enjoy the way they came out, and I think they look really rustic chic, rustic glam. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Take care and God bless, and thanks for watching.